Designing emotions. The evolution of event decor in the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, has become more than a global destination for events. It has become a benchmark for how modern celebrations are designed, experienced, and remembered. Clients here are exposed, well-traveled, and highly aware. They arrive with references, expectations, and a clear understanding of what has already been done. This creates a unique dynamic. The industry is not competing on scale alone, but on refinement. As a designer, I have seen a clear shift. Events are no longer defined by how much is added, but by how precisely each element is chosen. This transformation has fundamentally changed the way designers approach their work. Client briefs today are more structured, more visual, and more intentional. Instead of broad directions, clients often come with curated references, mood boards, and a defined emotional outcome they want to achieve. At the same time, the role of the designer has expanded. It is no longer about offering options. It is about interpreting, refining, and sometimes even challenging the brief to create something cohesive and meaningful. Understanding the modern event landscape. The GCC event scene is defined by diversity, from intimate private moments to large-scale productions, all driven by a shared demand for experience-led design. Proposals and private celebrations are becoming more refined, focusing on emotion, location, and precision rather than scale. Birthdays have evolved into curated visual experiences, especially for adults, where elegance and personalization take priority. Weddings remain the most layered format, designed as a complete journey rather than a single moment. In parallel, corporate events are moving toward minimal, clean aesthetics that balance branding with functionality. Across all categories, one shift is clear. Events are no longer simply decorated, they are intentionally designed to create lasting impressions. What truly defines great decor? There is a common misconception that great decor is defined by complexity. In reality, it is defined by control. Control of space, understanding proportions, scale, and how elements are positioned within the environment. Control of light, shaping mood, depth, and focus through both natural and artificial sources. Control of interaction, how materials, textures, and structures respond to each other within the same composition. The strongest designs are built on a clear foundation. Composition, lighting, material quality, spatial flow. One of the most common mistakes, even in high-budget projects, is treating these elements separately. For example, lighting is often considered after the decor is already designed or installed. As a result, even well-executed setups can lose depth, atmosphere, and clarity. This is why a budget alone does not guarantee a strong result. Without alignment between space, light, and materials, even the most expensive elements can feel disconnected. Each of these elements works together to guide the experience, subtly directing attention, movement, and perception without overwhelming the space. When these elements align, the result feels effortless, even when the execution behind it is highly complex. From excess to intention, the industry has evolved. There was a time when decor meant volume. More flowers, more layers, more visual impact. Spaces were filled to impress. Today, the most refined designs are moving in the opposite direction. Not empty, but intentional. We are seeing a shift toward clarity over chaos, balance over overload, focus over saturation. This shift is also reflected in how budgets are distributed. Instead of spreading resources across multiple elements, more emphasis is placed on fewer, higher quality components, materials, lighting, and execution. Less but better is achieved not by reducing design, but by increasing precision. Every element carries more responsibility and, therefore, requires a higher level of detail and control. This is not minimalism as a trend. It is maturity in design thinking. Defining trends of 2026. The return of draping. Draping has returned, but in a new form. It is no longer heavy or traditional. Today it is light, fluid, and architectural. Fabrics are used to shape space, soften structures, and introduce movement. What was once decorative has become a tool for atmosphere, minimal luxury, and futuristic simplicity. Luxury is now expressed through restraint. In practice, this approach raises the standard of execution. With fewer elements in the space, every detail becomes more visible, meaning imperfections in finish, alignment, or proportion are immediately noticeable. Minimal luxury does not simplify the work. It elevates the standard of execution, demanding greater control, craftsmanship, and attention to detail. Clean lines, neutral palettes, and materials such as acrylic, mirror, and chrome define this direction. The focus is not on quantity, but on precision and finish. Statement over saturation. The idea of filling a space is being replaced by defining it. Rather than layering multiple elements, today's approach focuses on a single, well-executed feature, a sculptural installation, a statement centerpiece, or a signature backdrop that shapes the entire space. This is not about doing less, but about designing with precision. A strong focal point creates clarity, guides attention, and allows the space to breathe, making the overall experience feel more refined and intentional. The impact of modern design lies not in quantity, but in how confidently one idea is expressed. Color direction in 2026. Color is becoming more intentional. Soft pastels, warm neutrals, and subtle metallic accents define the base palette, while deeper tones are introduced selectively to create contrast and depth. In practice, this layered approach allows designers to control the atmosphere more precisely. Instead of multiple competing colors, the palette works as a system, supporting zoning, depth, and visual hierarchy. This is also why the industry is moving away from overloaded palettes. When too many colors are introduced, the space loses clarity and the overall composition becomes harder to read. Restraint in this context is not a limitation, it is a tool.